I guess we're on. Are we on?
Yes, you're on.
Oh, well, good. Hi, welcome to IITW Radio. We're having some technical difficulties again, as every night.
As usual.
I'm Travis, and you guys are out on the porch with Travis and Tammy. Say hello, Tammy.
Hi. Hello, Tammy.
Tonight we have a very beautiful and young talented lady named Carol Crittenden. And if I didn't say it right, it's because I got a mint in my mouth. So how you doing, Carol?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
All right, she doesn't get an applause or anything, Chris?
I'll do it.
How you doing, Carol?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Oh, pretty good. So I was sitting here reading your bios and stuff, and I've also had quite a few conversations with you in the last few days here. Not only is she a very talented artist and singer, musician, but she's also versed in some politics stuff, which we're not going to get into tonight.
Probably shouldn't.
Okay, so Carol, you're from where?
I'm based right outside of New York City. I grew up in New Jersey. I'm right over the George Washington Bridge is where I'm based.
Okay, and you play folk art? Well, is it cold up there? Or did you guys already get hit with the smoldering heat?
We're in the heat right now. Today was a beautiful day, but it was like perfect summer day. It was hot, but not like disgusting where you're just like sweating to death. So that's coming though. So, yeah.
Where I'm at today, it's over 100 degrees, so anything is air conditioning under that.
Yeah.
But I love
that's rough.
I love the heat.
You guys get it bad down south though, right? You guys get it really, really bad in the summer, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. What is it there, Tammy?
It is in the 90s, like maybe 93, 94, with a humidity level in the 80% range.
Hey, that's what does it, right? That humidity.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's like walking outside, getting slapped in the face with a wet cloth.
Yeah.
Our forecast in Florida every day is sun, rain, mosquitoes.
Right. Sweat and mosquitoes.
Definitely. Yeah.
So you sing like a folk art and stuff like that?
Yeah, I do. I have a very eclectic taste, but I have like a very folky kind of voice, pop, rock. I never quite know what to call it, like chick folk rock, pop stuff kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing lately. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, for you guys that are listening before the show, our music was on straight for an hour before. It'll be on straight for an hour after, if you want to catch your music. But you're a very interesting young lady. I've looked at your bios and stuff here, and not only you're a singer-songwriter, but you've been on stage and stuff before.
I have. Yeah. I grew up just loving all different kinds of performance art. I was singing since as long as I can remember, and went into acting in the theater and some Shakespeare and some tours here and there. And I've done with many different types of groups also. Like I sing harmonies. I sing in a Celtic group called Four Celtic Voices. And so we're touring from time to time. Again, my voice kind of lends itself to that kind of a folky vibe. So.
Yeah. When you sang for when you were singing with the Four Celtics, you guys were #1 on the top Billboard and World Music Chart, correct?
That's right. Give it a little plug. Yeah, it was for Four Celtic Seasons. It was our debut CD, and we reached #1 on that chart. So that was pretty exciting.
That's awesome.
It's fun. It's beautiful music. Like that's what's great about it. And the audience is the Irish people who love Irish music and Scottish music, and they really get it. They're so appreciative. Like I've been able to be lucky enough to travel the country a bit and really connect with the people coming to the shows. And I have to say, they're just they're just good people, and they just like the music. People know the music, they sing along, they clap along, and it just makes it really, really fun experience to connect in that way.
Yeah, it's you mentioned that you played in Hamlet and stuff, but you forgot two of them on here. You forgot Annie. So were you Annie?
I was not, though. That was one of the first songs I can ever remember singing was, "Oh, the sun will come out tomorrow." So,
Oh, wow.
so that was like one of the songs I used to belt out as a child. And yeah, I just always loved singing, but I never got to be. I think I'm slightly too old to play Annie at this point in my career. So
You could do Annie. You could do Annie done growed up.
That's right. Annie, get your gun, maybe.
You would have been a perfect Annie.
Yeah, she got the voice for it.
Yeah, and Annie Get Your Gun, you would be perfect for that too. I could see you doing that. Yeah.
I do. I love musicals. I love musical theater. I used to do a lot more of it, but these days I'm kind of more focused on my own original stuff and writing and all that.
Which is actually, you have such a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
And you.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, absolutely. And the music that you write is just very, I don't know, it's so melodic, and you just have such a.
So how old were you when you did the Annie thing?
Oh gosh, I mean probably like 5 or 6. I would belt that out, and I mean I wasn't ever in an Annie. I want to be clear.
Oh, okay.
No, I wasn't actually in the show, but I would. That was like my first memory of like singing and performing, like in front of my family. Like we used to, like that's how I used to play as a kid. Is we would put on shows. Like I'd get together with my cousins, and we'd, you know what we would do? We would make radio shows actually. So we would take our little tape recorders, and we would be DJs, just like you. And we would we'd do commercials, we'd do that, and we would make up songs, and we were the Four Winds, and I can just think of some of the most ridiculous things we'd come up with. But I thought that was just how normal families played, like that was like our playing time. We would come up with shows, and we would do things for the neighborhood, and just perform. It was just really fun. So.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Tammy. What was you asking her?
No, that's okay. That's fine. You're fine. No, I was just talking about her genre that she does on her own. She kind of compared herself to a couple of other artists when we were talking to her the other day. I believe you said something about it sounding a bit like Tori Amos, and
that's like one of my favorite artists.
Yeah,
ever.
You said something
amazing
about that. She is amazing, but so are you. And
thank you.
Your music is I believe is up there just as good as anything that she does. And
well, that's quite a compliment.
I love it. I love it. And I think you're probably just as good as she is.
Thank you for saying that. I definitely appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how like the different influences kind of come out in different ways. Like one of my favorite groups of all time is like Toad the Wet Sprocket, who they're just. I love them. Yeah, exactly. People are like, wait a while. Yeah, it's like you mentioned, Tammy. It's like that melodic, just kind of. It's like catchy, but it's not like too poppy, but it's just like it feels good. If that makes any sense. Oh, yeah. And so I like that, and it's meaningful, and that's been part of just my songwriting journey of late. Especially, I work with folk singer Dar Williams. I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but she is very well known in the folk circuit, and she does a workshop called Writing a Song That Matters.
Oh yeah.
I did that a few years ago. Yeah, and she just it's like really it brings really quality people together that are just in all different stages of their career. And we go to this repurposed monastery up in Garrison, New York, and it's just this beautiful, peaceful place on the Hudson that it just enables you to be in that mode. I find that to be the most difficult thing about songwriting sometimes, is just getting myself, you're just busy and doing your day, and like it's hard to get
Inspired.
quiet and just make the space and time and just headspace for it. So so that's been really an amazing thing for me these last few years, that have helped me to focus my energy a little bit better. Other really interesting, delightful people and great songwriters, and just trying to infuse my songwriting with just making sure that I'm being genuine and being authentic, and hopefully that it relates to others, that some universal things that people can relate to.
That sounds so awesome. Now, in the area where you live there, and you're in the New Jersey side, right? You said.
Yeah, I'm in New Jersey. I'm about 5 minutes from New York City.
Okay. Now, do you play a lot in New York City? Are there venues that you play in New York City? Do you play?
Yeah, there are lots of venues in New York City, and I have played quite a few. Recently, I got to get out again more, but recently I've been more focused just on a little bit more local, like my own town, and just supporting a lot of local groups and organizations, and just sharing my music locally. But getting in
festivals, or what kind of stuff do you usually play at?
Yeah. I mean, it's usually like I'll be called in to do an art reception, or a picnic, a community in a park, things like that, or a fundraiser. I've done a few fundraisers recently that have been very meaningful to me. We did one over Christmas for Puerto Rico that was just really, it just felt really good to be able to just, in my own little way, make a difference and be able to. And it was like this great lineup and great musicians, and just whenever we can share our music and uplift and give back in some small way, it's just very important these days to me. So
that sounds awesome.
So you played in Hamlet for the New Vic Theatre of London, and you've been on stage in like New York and LA theater companies and stuff like that.
That's
you didn't tell us about, you didn't mention Dracula.
Dracula, that's right. That was a really fun one. That was at the New Vic Theatre of London also. It was great. We actually got to spend a couple months in London, and my husband was actually in that production as well. And so we went over there together, and we got to just live in London for a couple of months and go to rehearsals and work with this amazing director and really amazing people, and work on our British accent, because we had to perform with our British accent, but the performances were actually back in the States. So we did a regional tour of that.
So how was your British accent?
It was a marvellous time. It was wonderful. It depends if you want the Cockney or you want the more royal pronunciation. I started learning it when I was in the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair many years ago, which was a blast. So, that's actually where I met my husband, believe it or not. And he was wielding a sword, because he does sword fighting. So, very random. Very random.
You nailed that, I'll say that.
Yeah.
So what part did you play? Because there's a lot of people that are into Dracula, into all the different things on HBO and stuff, and Twilight and all that. Tammy.
Yes. Huge vampire fan.
Yeah.
I was
Lucy.
She asked me stuff about Edward, and I'm like, Edward, did you see what happened to Edward? I'm like, what are you talking about?
The Twilight, yes.
Yeah, because there's a funny story on how that happened. Is that my daughter, I dropped her off at school when she was little, and she had this Hello Kitty cream there, and my hands were all dried out being in Florida, and I've been working in the sand and doing concrete and stuff. Yeah, that's funny, Tammy. And so I dropped her off at school, and I grabbed this hand lotion because she had been putting it on, rubbing it on her arms and her face, and I'm like, okay, well, she's got this. She left it in the center console on my Jeep. So I just squirt this stuff on now. I've got those transition glasses that turn dark. So I squirt this stuff on my hands. I'm rubbing it all over my face. I'm rubbing it on my arms. I stop at an Ace Hardware to pick up some stuff for the horse ranch. And the girl goes, nice Twilight look. And I'm like, at that time I didn't know what Twilight was. The stuff had pink sparkles all in it. It was pink lotion.
Oh my gosh.
I got into Home Depot and my buddy comes up behind me and sticks his finger in my back and says, give me all your money. And I'm like, I turn around and he goes, Jesus, what happened to you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Here I'd been like 5 or 6 hours with this stuff on my face, going to different businesses. And I've got this metal flake all over my face. And so my buddy at Home Depot goes, have you even looked at what you're doing? I said, what are you doing? He goes, are you coming out of the closet? And I'm like, I'm not gay. And then he says, have you looked in the mirror? Yeah, did you do that on purpose? Because I'm always clowning around and stuff. I looked in the mirror and I took my glasses off and I put my regular glasses on, which are the ones I have now. And I'm like, holy crap. Of course, my friends always trying to get me with weird pictures. We got one of my friends every night we highlight. So I've got to watch what I do. But so did you play Bella?
That's hilarious. No, I played Lucy.
Oh, Lucy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's like
Lucy,
Nina, Lucy,
redheaded
Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long did you do that? How long did you tour?
Oh gosh. The tour, we were in London for about 2 months and we were in rehearsals, and the tour was probably only a couple months after that. So yeah, we just did around like the Northeast. So.
Now, is that something they came over here and got you to do, or is that something you just went over there on vacation and?
No, they got it. It was through a theater company here, and they were looking for actors, and they and I had actually done some children's theater with them before that. I was touring in Sleeping Beauty with them, which was really fun. And so they were looking for a cast, an American cast that could pull off. So lucky us, we got to actually go over to London and spend time there. And just in rehearsals, instead of getting real British people, which I think would have cost them a lot more money, they just kind of trained us, and then we were able to pull off the shows. So it was fun.
How fun!
Yeah.
It says in here that you were on. You've done commercials too, I believe, for QVC and CBS.
Yeah, well, I was on QVC for the Four Celtic Voices, actually. We had a segment on there where we were selling our CDs and performing, which was really fun. Got some nice footage from there, and it was just a really fun thing to do. And then sometimes when we're in local areas, when we're doing shows in certain places, one in Florida, actually. What was that one? It was a CBS affiliate there. Don't remember where we were, maybe Largo. I'm not sure, but anyway, but like we did like a segment. Is it? I'll have to look it up. I'll have to pull the footage and find out. But we were on like a morning show there, and so we got to perform there, just kind of promoting the show that evening. And I've done voiceover type work and some singing on commercials and things like that, like radio stuff. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got your CD
and I'm
here.
talking about it, and I'm like, I'd like to get back into it. That's really fun. I miss that. Yeah.
You've got your CD here, en route.
En route, that's right.
Or en route. I'm sorry, I'm reading it back.
Yeah, no.
Everything.
It's the same thing.
Everything in my computer here is reading backwards. So, so tell us about the CD. I mean, No Bridge to Burn and stuff like that. What's your favorite song on there?
Oh gosh, that's like, who's your favorite kid? There's a couple that are pretty meaningful. I mean, gee, that's a really good question. My favorite song, I mean, Hold On is probably one of my favorites on there. I wrote that right before I moved to Los Angeles. I was kind of taking a big leap in my life and leaving my family and loved ones, everybody I knew, everything I knew, and just kind of taking a chance at moving across the country, and those feelings of what that was like, and the idea of coming back home. But it's just about taking chances, and like the whole CD itself, I think, the title En Route, it's just like we're all kind of on a path. It's about forward motion and movement, and not necessarily, I think a lot of times we have these goals and we want to achieve something and yeah, we made it, I'm there. And it's, proven time and time again that there kind of is no there. Like, it's just the process. And trying to embrace that and all its rough edges. And yeah, so I mean, another song actually that stands out is Suzanne's Strength, which is a bit more of my rockin' song. But I did that one is very special. It was done, produced by a friend of mine, Dom Barone of Omega Sound, and Eric Moriello of EMB Productions. And they do a lot of work for an organization called Songs of Love. And it's a nonprofit organization where they create children that are ill, like often terminally ill. And they find out, they think.
Is that what the Lucky Lady Lullaby is about?
Well, it's actually, it's related to that, but it's not quite. This was for my mother-in-law, who had pancreatic cancer, and she was diagnosed, and it was a very interesting experience because she went through those last phases of her life with such grace, and it was just a really, really important experience. And so we created that song. And anyway, so these people who do these songs of love quite often, they offered to do this song for her, and so I was like wowed by just their generosity in doing so. And it's just cool because you're able to create the song like based on their musical taste, whether they like country or rock or whatever it is, and then you personalize it so it's things unique to them. And so it was particularly meaningful just how much it meant to her and how much her, and just how her impact on the people in her life. And it was just very kind of it's important for her to have that toward the end of her life, and it was an honor for me to be able to be a part of that. A special one, and that kind of led to just how important music can be and how much difference it can make. And that's why, so I was lucky enough recently to be able to do a Songs of Love with that organization just a couple months ago, and be able to give it to a child that I don't know, just to be able to do a song for her. It's just a really cool thing to do. So
yeah, we're going to be giving away. We're going to be giving this away sometime this coming week on one of the shows. I believe we have a couple of them, don't we?
Yeah, I think you do. I've sent you a couple.
So. Okay. Yeah, we'll be putting up a contest where people can go on there and look at those.
Great.
Paper Hearts. One of my friend's daughters loves Paper Hearts. And
Aww.
she has played that over and over and over again.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, she said, that's my favorite one. I'm like, okay, well, I will ask her, what that one's about.
Yeah, I mean,
She's
that
14.
one. It's perfect because that's actually kind of thinking back to when I was in that place. So that's actually really cool that that's the one that stuck out to her. It's just it's about young love and that innocence and what you like. It's about the memories and looking back on it now as an adult, and you want those memories to remain so pure and kind of you don't, even if it wasn't true, you still just kind of don't want to know. Like even if it wasn't as deep and real as you thought it was, you don't want to tarnish those memories with the truth. Like you want, like it meant so much to you at that time. So let's just believe that and hold that in your heart, because there's truth to that. So
yeah, I listened to it. It's a good song. Actually, it's every one of your songs on here are fantastic.
Thank you.
So where are some of the places they can get your music at?
Yeah, well, certainly my website, you can always go on there. It's carolcrittenden.com. I know it's kind of a long name, but you can find it on IITW's website, right?
Yes.
The carolcrittenden.com. You can find me on CD Baby. I think you can find me on Amazon as well, the iTunes, certainly. So yeah, and you can always just like message me on the through my website also. So I'm always
you're on Reverb Nation as well, aren't you?
That's right, Reverb Nation as well. That's right.
Okay.
But I'm also on Bandcamp. I just released a new song that I'm working on. I'm writing some new music, and I've been working on recording some new music. And so my newest song is on Bandcamp, so you can look up my name there as well.
So are you going on tour anytime soon, or is there any places coming up you're playing at that some of our listeners up there in New York and New Jersey can go see you?
Yeah, I don't even have the dates handy, which is really ridiculous of me. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to be playing in Las Vegas actually at an event called Combat Con at the Flamingo Hotel in August, the beginning of August. I'll be playing at the Ramsey Farmers Market here in New Jersey.
What date is the Las Vegas? What date is the Las Vegas one?
Good question. Let me see real quick. Sorry, that's so wrong. It's through a special event called Combat Con, and it's a big sword fighting combat event. So hold on a second. But yeah, it's a really fun convention. But if you can go to combatcon.com, it's the weekend of August 2nd through the 5th, and there's a big ball one night. It's kind of the big party on the Saturday night of that weekend. So that's at the Flamingo in Las Vegas.
So I guess the talent runs in your family too, right? Because your dad was an opera director, correct?
That's right. He was a singer years ago, and he toured, and he's been a director, and he's had his own opera workshops over many years. And yeah, so I've dabbled a little in opera myself, more of a light opera voice. But it was fun because I actually got to take his workshop one year. I went to his summer workshop. It's like a 2-week intensive where you get a bunch of scenes and you're working and honing your craft. And then at the end, you get to do a performance. So it was really cool because I got to, do it in Italian, and it was such a challenge. Like, I have such respect for opera singers. Is on the acting component of it also, of conveying the music. He hates when people just stand there and sing beautiful. He's like, well, it's meaningless. Like, what does it mean? What do the words mean? What are you connecting with? So that's something that I've always taken with me.
What does he think about you singing pop, country, sort of jazzy thing?
He really likes it. I gotta say, he loves my CD, and I was a little nervous at first because I was like, oh, it's really not his thing, and he listens to it in the car all the time, which means so much to me. But he's always told me, he's like, you have very kind of a folk voice, Joan Baez kind of thing. Like, you should really explore that more. So, yeah. And so with doing the Celtic music, obviously fulfills that, and my own music is a combination of that, but has a little more edge to it, I think. But yeah. So it's good. It's nice that he really likes it, because he'll tell you the truth about things. Like, he won't just say, "Oh, you're my daughter." He's always been very what's the good kind of critical? Not like bad critical, but like constructive. It's always been very constructive criticism. Yeah, so it's good because it makes me work hard. I'm not just like, "Oh, my guy says I'm good," like, because I really respect what he has to say about it. So
that's good. He supports you.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, you're besides being a wife, you're a mother too. How old is your child? Daughter?
I am. I have a little boy. His name's Evan, and he's 6 years old. Yeah, he just graduated kindergarten, which is blowing my mind. So he's just been great. It sounds so cliche, but it's just going so fast, and I can't believe how fast he's growing. And but it's wonderful, and I think that just how life is just so fleeting, and just really being present in the moment, and being with your loved ones, and sharing our gifts, and yeah. So I think it's been a good thing. So I'm excited. I'm excited to share a couple of the new songs I've been working on, and I'm in the middle of recording them. So little by little, they're getting there. But
okay. Yeah, you've got what songs do you have coming out?
Well, my most recent release is called Rise, and that's the one on Bandcamp. And I have some other songs. One is called One Small Step, which means a great deal to me. It's just kind of how we can sometimes feel very overwhelmed by all these things going on in the world, and you can feel very helpless that you feel like you throw your hands up, like, what can I do? What can one person do? And, you make a difference. Each person makes a difference in their own way. And I think that embracing that, and yeah, I think it's just easy to get overwhelmed. And so that's this song. It's called One Small Step, and you can find it a very rough, me just playing on YouTube. You could find that. I'm excited to record that one. That one's pretty special to me. And then, another song I wrote for my husband for our 10-year wedding anniversary called Castle. And it's just about those simple things. And it's some of these songs I've been...
Now, does your husband sing with you sometimes, or is he not a singer?
Sometimes. Yeah, he is a little bit. He used to do some musical theater, actually, years and years ago. But he plays the guitar a little bit, and my son loves to sing. So we'll have, like, days where we're just strumming along and having a dance party and playing piano, like, just doing a whole thing, which is really, like, those are the moments where when I'm in it, I'm like, this is just great.
That's fun.
So it really is. So, and it's fun seeing my little boy kind of developing the love for music and for performing too. He like did his kindergarten talent show and he was like owning it. I was like, wow.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's pretty fun. Yeah. He has an original song called Rock the Mic. So you'll be hearing that one day too, I'm sure. So it's pretty
Well,
fun.
he's going to follow in Mom's footsteps.
We'll see.
You have a lot of requests from a lot of listeners on IITW radio for your music. They get to go down and they check the little box, and I'm not sure how it all works, but I know you've been in the top 10. I believe you're in the top 10 this week, as a matter of fact.
That's awesome.
So, but I want to thank you for coming on. You're a very talented and beautiful young lady, and it seems like you're all around talented. Most time, we get some artists that's all they can do is sing. They can't play the guitar. Some you'll have sing and play the guitar, but I mean, my Lord, you're into acting and commercials and everything else. It's very impressive. And you're not old enough to have done all that stuff. So
you're very sweet. Thank you.
So, but thank you so much for coming on, Carol. And we love hearing your music, and then we'll be giving your CD away. And thank you for allowing us to play your music for your audience and our fans and stuff.
Thank you. Thanks for
reaching them to give away.
Yeah. I appreciate your finding me and supporting independent artists. What you're doing is a great, important thing. And as a listener as well, I've been listening to your station, and I've always been really impressed with just the you've had on there, and the music. It's you got good taste. So I'm in good company, and I feel happy about that. So thank you.
We have the easy job. You're the one that's got to do all the work. We get to plug and play it, and then and then people listen to it. But we do enjoy promoting your music and stuff. And I know you're going a lot of places with it, and we're looking forward to having you back on the show when your new album comes out.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I love that.
That's a date?
It's a date.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't get dates anymore. I'm an old guy, so anytime I can get one, even if it's a radio day, I'm there.
Sounds good.
Fair enough.
Thank you, Carol.
Well, thank you very much.
Guys. All of you guys. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Take care.
Bye, thanks,
Okay, yeah.
guys. Bye.
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 Talk soon.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Carol Crittenden. And you guys all have to check out her music and stuff on IITW radio. Are we still there, or did I lose you?
No, we're here.
Okay. That was a good interview. She's very talented. We need to look up some of her stuff and put her on, find her QVC commercials and add them into the genre and stuff. She'll probably kill us for that. But let me see, because I'm out of town on vacation, but I've still got stuff that's being sent to me over the phone. So, let's see. First thing, you know what? Before we do the commercials, I called it where Lee works today, right?
Mm-hmm.
For you guys, this is your first time listening to the show. Every week, I made Lee a promise a long time ago when I got the radio station because of a couple of comments she had made to me. I said, one day, girl, I'm going to make you famous. I'm going to have you on every radio show, whether you like it or not. So we got a picture of Lee.
Oh, it's up.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yes,
This is our friend Lee. She has no idea I took this picture. I snuck into where she works. I'm not going to give them a plug, but I snuck into where she worked. I actually called up. I don't think she's listening tonight, but I called up there today, and I was going to get one of the girls What are you doing?
Don't worry about it. We're not on screen.
I called up today and was trying to get one of the girls. I said, look, I'll get you a gift card or whatever you want, just get a goofy picture of her so we can put it up. And she goes, I'm not doing that. Lee just got a new chainsaw.
You should worry about that.
Oh, I'm telling you, Lee is a Southern gal. She's a sweetheart, but she's a Southern gal. But she got her husband, Ben, one of my best friends, bought her a chainsaw. I think it was for Mother's Day, didn't he?
It was for her birthday.
Oh, for her birthday. That's
Yes.
right. She just had a birthday not long ago.
Yes.
The 16th or 18th, something like that.
The 19th.
19th?
19th.
I don't know. I've been out of town, so. But on tonight, we got a couple of shout outs for our sponsors and stuff. One is T-Mobile, and they've got some pretty good deals going on right now. They've got a buy a Samsung Galaxy S9 and get one for free. Now, this is only at the Daytona store. And if you look on there, it'll give you the address and stuff. It is, in West International Speedway, north of Williams on the 2400 West International Speedway Boulevard. When you guys go in there, make sure you tell them that you saw the stuff on IITW radio or the Putnam Way, either one. And if you don't mention us, they'll give you a $25. It's either a gift card or credit towards your bill, however you want to spend it. If you do mention IITW radio, they're going to give you $50, but they're also going to donate $50 to a charity. And they have some good deals. They have buy the new LG G7 and get $750 off the second one. So, but you guys have to go in there. This print, can you read that, Tammy? It's buy one Apple Watch, get one for $215 off.
Off, right, starting June the 26th.
Okay.
Buy Samsung Galaxy S9, get one free. I don't know if you said that already or not.
Yeah, that one I did.
Okay, business LG Aristo 2 Plus offer starting June the 26th. Business buy one Samsung, get $360 off another, starts June the 29th. A free prepaid A30 offer starts June the 27th. Be sure to call the store to get more details, subject to activation fees and sales tax.
Now, also on their stuff, if you're a veteran or a member of your family is a veteran, they have a thing that they're helping the veterans out and families of veterans with, I think it's half off on their bills and stuff. They really like their veterans. So you guys make sure you go in there and see them. Now that's the one on International Speedway Boulevard.
Yes.
Next up.
Each location.
Yeah, next up, because we're on the half-hour break, is the stand, Matt and Luann's Produce in Satsuma.
Yes.
Yeah, you talk about a good group of people. Where's that picture at, Chris? There we go.
Yep.
Where you at, Chris? Put the picture on you for a second. There you are. Where's that wave at? That's not the right wave. Chris has been tinkering with some of the voices. What voice were you using earlier? I'm putting him on the spot.
Using this one. Hi. I don't know what's funny. This is a serious radio show. This isn't a...
Yeah, I'll tell you what, when we get to Bob's, I want you to do Bob's ad for us.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, put the picture of the stand back up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Matt and Luann, they have two different stands, produce stands in Satsuma and one in East Palatka. And if, you have some stands where you'll get some stuff where it might be not as fresh as you want or whatever when you get it home, like especially with watermelons. It's hard for me to judge a good watermelon. I can thump them, I can headbutt them, everything else, I don't know until I get home. But if it's not what you like, then take it back to them and they will swap it out for you. Also, some other stuff too on there.
They've got a special on seedless watermelons this week. $3 each, and corn 4 for $1. 4 ears for $1.
What was it? How many?
Corn is 4 ears for $1.
Man,
That's
I got
a
to
good
be out
deal.
of town. I know, I got to be out of town. I love corn.
Well, then I guess you better hurry up and get back home before that's over.
I'm headed there. I got to have a vacation though.
So
Come on,
sweet.
you get to go on vacation next.
Oh, y'all remember he said that now.
Yep, you get to take, I don't know. You have too many cats to go on vacation.
What do I get? 8 hours?
Okay. Next up is my buddy Bob with Eastside Collision and Towing. He has it's the one on 17, and I don't see the address. Yes, I do. 286 Highway South 17, and that's in East Palaca. Chris, why don't you do his ad for him?
What
Bob
do you
does.
mean, the cow? Like,
Read it.
which part? Like, hold on. What am I reading? 24 towing hour available. That's the wrong order. Towing, collision work, custom painting, mechanical work. That's nice. You already said where it's located. Free estimates. Call Bob Baldwin. It's the owner. There's a couple photos in there. They look nice. And there's also a delightful family photo. That's nice.
Yeah, Bob's a single dad. I'm raising 2 boys. As a matter of fact, this one oldest boy is getting ready to go in the Army here in a couple weeks. So I want to thank him for the service he's about to do for his country and stuff. Bob does some, if you look at the picture there, you'll see the motorcycle tanks. He does race cars. He does classics, antiques, even new stuff. You get a scratch and a dent, or you get in an automobile accident, God forbid. But take your stuff over there. He'll give you a free estimate. You know, if you need something else done, talk to him. And Bob, I hope you liked your commercial. You should have called me earlier.
And if you need a mirror for your car, he'll find one for you too. Hi, Bob.
That's an inside joke we have going. I like that commercial he just did, the voiceover for it. So we'll have to probably keep that on there until Bob goes and scratches my paint job. He's supposed to paint my truck for me, so it'll probably be hazed over now. Okay, next up we have Mr. Bird Sales. Mr. Bird is a good Christian man. He has if you go to San Mateo, you can't miss his buildings. They're right there on the right if you're coming from South Putnam, on the left if you're coming from North Putnam. And the man has some incredible buildings over there. And he's all around nice guy. He does it, him and his son, they work together putting the buildings out, but he actually comes out and does the work and sets them up. They both make sure with their crews that they're all set up level, everything else. That's where we got one of our buildings from. I plan on getting a couple more from him, but they have greenhouses, gazebos. You can rent to own them. You don't have to no credit check, none of that stuff. If you do want to finance it through a company, they do have financing available. That's what I did with mine. But go over there and see Mr. Bird. And he has specials too. Sometimes, he'll take in stuff where people rent to own it and it comes back. He'll let it go for good. But most of the time, you can get into one of these buildings for as cheap as what you would pay a storage place. The good thing is you get to walk right outside and your stuff is there instead of having to drive, 20, 30 minutes, even if it's only 5 minutes. So make sure you check him out. Then we have cars, community auto repair specialist. And they're at 3520 Krill Avenue in Palaca. It's another family-owned business. And they're open from 8 to 3, closed on Sundays. They do have a front end special for alignments going until I believe Wednesday, for $49.99 or $49.95. It's hard for me to read this off of my phone. So, but
Which one are you?
huh? Cars. Cars. You know, they just had a little baby too, so they need all the business they can get. Diapers are expensive.
Right.
But they're not.
Right. $49.95 is the alignment. It's only until Wednesday, the 27th. And anybody that goes there for this has to mention IITW radio in order to get that special.
Yeah, you're going to pay about $100 or 80 or whatever it is. I know
And
the
also-
prices.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know the prices are really good. I've been to some other auto places to get stuff worked on, and they were through the roof. And you go over there, and it's like, are you sure you can do it for that cheap? But the guy goes the extra mile too on stuff.
Right. I just need to, I just wanted to make a correction on the T-Mobile for the veterans special on the T-Mobile. It is a 10% discount. It is not 50%. Just to clarify that one. It is 10% discount. It is not 50%.
Okay. My bad. That was a special running a while back, I guess.
Yeah. And that is just so that they, that everybody is clear about that one.
Okay.
All
I
right.
don't want them going in and saying, well, they said this. No, make sure you listen.
Yeah, we don't want them to, we want to make sure that everybody's clear. That is only 10% for veterans. It is.
I apologize for that. I'm out of town still on vacation. I have an excuse. It's actually a working vacation, so.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it for a while. We'll get to Greg. We might as well throw Greg in there right now. Greg is one of my friends. He's an attorney in Jacksonville, Greg Williams, PA. He'll do anything but murder cases, and he'll do pretty much anything but shoot somebody. So if your mother-in-law, whether it's a man or woman's needs shooting, do not call Greg. He's not going to come take care of them for you. He's a character, though. I love watching this guy in court. It kind of reminds me of, what was that? Is it Columbo?
Yeah.
I watched the guy in court a few times, and he is brilliant. He'll get up there, and the people will be sitting up on the stand. You know, he'll go to cross-examine them, and he'll get ready to walk away, and just as they think they're off the hook, bam, he nails them. It's like, yeah, I thought he was walking away and going to go sit down, and he throws the hammer down on them, and then, of course, they're guilty, or he gets his client off. But he will come down into Blacka and Satsuma, that area, even though he's out of Jacksonville. And you go down, he's in downtown Jacksonville. And he does offer, unlike a lot of other attorneys where, you know, you better give me $6,000 down right now, or I'm not even looking at your case. Greg will work with people. He's a hell of a guy. So,
Cool.
But he's going to be on the show, hopefully, when I get back. I'm going to try to get him on, not this coming Friday night, but the following Friday night. We're going to get it set up. So if you guys have some legal questions you need answered, you can call in. And he's versed in politics, too, which is amazing. And he loves the Constitution in the United States. So you guys make sure his phone number is 904-358-8180. And that'll also be on here so you can rewind and go back and look at it if you're looking at it on YouTube or IITW radio. Okay. Tonight now that we got got all that out of the way. And by the way, cars, hi Tracy. And also, I got to give a shout out to Raymond, a guy I'm up here with. My friend's AC went out, and Raymond's Repairs AC. I don't know if I have his number. If you guys are in Louisiana, his number is, I told him I was going to give him a shout out tonight because he's giving my friend a good deal. His number is 504-388-2458. 504-388-2458. I told you, Raymond, I'd give you a shout out. So, okay. Tonight, I want to talk about, these kids are wanting protection and all, and I have to agree, and I'm glad that Rick Surtsey and the school board, and along with our sheriff, Gator DeLoach, have stepped up to the plate, and Gator and Rick were getting things done and trying to get it done earlier and earlier and earlier to get the schools protected by the time, and the kids protected by the time they go into school this summer or at the end of the summer.
Right.
Well, today's the first Monday of the summer too, isn't it?
Yes.
Sweet. That's why it's so stinking hot. But, you've got all these kids, and I say kids, I mean kids are 17. Although I don't like what's going on, because I think some of our kids are not quite educated on the Constitution and the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms. And I'm not going to recite the whole Second Amendment, or the Fifth or the 14th or any other ones. The thing is that you should have the right to protect yourself. And you got this little, how do I say this politely, snot-nosed brat of a kid running around named David Hogg. Okay, and I wouldn't be calling him that except for the kid is on bashing everybody that, the NRA, for one. I'm a member of the NRA, have been for years. Nobody at the NRA promotes going and shooting up schools or shooting anybody. They teach gun safety, and they try to protect the Second Amendment. But this kid, and we even have a picture of him. Chris?
We should.
Yeah, look at the crowd he's hanging with, Dianne Feinstein and all these, which I'm going to jump on the Republicans and Trump here in a little bit. So for you left wing, I'm not just going after the left wing. Tonight I'll be saying something about the right side too. But this kid is out talking about, we need to get rid of guns, banish all guns. And he doesn't see that you need to be able to protect yourself. Criminals that have guns do not give a crap about gun laws or gun safety. They don't care. MS-13 guys, they're not going to walk into a place or anybody's going to walk in and rob someplace and go, oh, wait, this is a gun restricted place. They don't allow guns in here. I can't do that, especially at schools. Well, they're not supposed to have guns in schools. That's already proven. They have laws. They're gun-free zones, but that imaginary line or those words have not stopped anybody from going in and shooting up these schools. And I agree with what Gator DeLoach and Rick Surtsey and the governor has done on that part, although I do not believe that Rick Scott, and I think he should be kicked out of office right now, just because he and a few other ones have decided to not let anyone under the age of 21 in Florida get guns. He has violated their constitutional rights as far as that. They can go serve in a war and they can get and serve overseas and they can get killed for our country. And they're responsible enough to do that, but they're not responsible enough to actually be able to go buy a gun. And my daughter's an avid hunter. She's 19. But because of him, she's not going to be hunting this coming season. And she doesn't shoot anything just to kill it, but she likes target shooting. And my oldest daughter, who is probably one of the best skeet shooters I've ever seen, would be affected by it now. But my other daughter, that's 19, can't even go buy the shotgun that she wants to go skeet shooting, which is a big thing for her. And I don't see where Rick Scott has the right to take away people's Second Amendments. I don't give a crap what it's for. But this kid, David Hogg, running around talking about how guns should be banned, and Rick Scott and them, the governor and stuff. If they really want to protect the children, I've got an idea for this David Hogg kid. Okay, you really want to protect kids? Why don't you start on a cell phone campaign? That's one of the things that work to protect the kids. Almost 5,000 kids a year die in automobile accidents. Most of those are from taking their phone and texting. They find them with a stinking thing in their hands on the side of the road. And I know because I cover accident scenes all the time, more than I want to cover. And I can't tell you how many 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and all the way up. I've seen with this. And you know what? There's laws against texting and driving.
Absolutely.
But not only texting and driving, just driving at 16 period. So if you're going to protect the kids and you want to go out on a limb and you want to be fair about it, Mr. Hogg, why don't you take kids that are 16, and I want our governor, I hope he listens to this too, why don't you take their driver's license away from them until they're 21, if you really want to protect them. With 5,000 kids dying a year across the United States and more, the number keeps going up every year. If you really want to protect them, why don't you do that? I think that would protect them, because there aren't that many that's dying from being walked in and shot in schools. I don't know. What do you think, Tammy?
Well, a car is just as much a deadly, an item that can be used to kill someone. And like you say, more kids are being killed with kids behind the wheel. This kid came out of the Stoneman Douglas High School shooting, and he became this big voice in the media, and he has all these other kids that are following him in his example, and he turned into this big, media presence, and he stands up in front of the crowds, and he uses his voice, which is, I'll just call it his voice for right now. And in every picture you see of him in the media, he's got his hand raised and his fist in the air, and he's got this presence that's supposedly so charismatic to the young people these days. Like some people have even compared him to another so-called charismatic leader from World War II. I won't say any names, but to compare him like that in his presence and the way he's got all these young people following him is scary. And the fact that he's got so many young people following his agenda and wanting to take guns away and wanting to squash Second Amendment rights for these young people, they don't even understand what they're talking about. They haven't lived long enough to understand what they're talking about, much less to go out into society and say that they want to take away Second Amendment rights from everyone.
Yeah, but if it's all about
the part that's bad.
But if it's all about protecting his age group and kids under the age of 21, don't you think it would be fair that we take all cell phones away from them? Because, face it, not only, not only is it a hazard when they're driving, but look at all the bullying that it has on social media.
Well, sure.
Look at the way they bully. They get on there. There's stuff started that's, it's not like it was back in the old days. You can stab somebody in the back with a phone, and you can make somebody look bad. Just take their cell phones away from them. And then, because so many kids are killed in car accidents, if they're not mature enough at the age of 18 to own a gun and have constitutional rights, which, let's just take the gun factor out of it. Let's just say if they're not mature enough at the age of 18 to be constitutionally protected, then let's protect them 100%. Let's take away their driver's license. Let's take away anything that would possibly harm them. There's laws that's been passed for years where kids are supposed to have bike helmets and they're supposed to ride them around. The state of Florida, they're required to have a helmet on. How many kids do you see riding with a bike helmet?
I don't see kids or adults riding with bike helmets hardly ever.
I remember seeing Obama ride with one, but he also was riding a girl's bike too. Don't worry, guys. I am going to jump on Trump here in a second. So for all you Trump haters, I'm going to throw you a bone tonight. But this kid, look at who's backing him. You got Dianne Feinstein. You got Nancy Pelosi, which I am going to take up for a little sweet Nancy here in a second. which is probably going to shock any of you guys. So if any of you are on nitro pills, get them ready. But, you know, you got this little snot-nosed brat out running around. And yes, I said snot-nosed brat because either his parents haven't educated him or he's just an idiot. You know, he doesn't.
Father's a retired FBI agent.
Yeah, I know. That's what's sad about it. I was going to leave that part out, but since you threw that in. But look at the people backing him. Look who he's up on stage with all the time. I don't see one Republican there. I don't see him getting on any debates with the NRA. He gets on and uses formats and stuff, and he gets the people that are on his side. I want to get him on the show to debate him.
He won't even debate his peer, Kyle Kashuv, who is literally his peer in the same class that was put at risk at Stoneman Douglas, who is for Second Amendment rights, who is for people being able to keep guns, and is on the other side of the fence. He won't even debate him.
Yeah, I know. I scratch my head trying to figure it out. But when I see him standing up there with Dianne Feinstein and all these other ones from the left side, it makes me sick that they would even back him. You know, these people are put in office and they raise their hand and they swear, leave his hand on that side of the stage, but they raise their hand that they're going to support and protect our constitutional rights. And then you guys got this guy up here, this little kid, you know, if he's not old enough to own a gun, does he not realize that he has constitutional rights and that once you take one away, the rest of them are squashed? You take the Second Amendment away, you might as well take freedom of speech away, which is the thing he's using right now to try to limit the Constitution. It blows my mind how, you know, his dad being an FBI and stuff, how he could even think that way.
He's got them in his ear, and he's a mouthpiece.
Yeah. Somebody's backing him. I mean, you just don't go on shows like that and travel all over. But look at the company he keeps. You know, Gramps used to say you walk in chicken crap all day, you're going to smell like crap at the end of the day. If you're walking through a rose garden, you're going to smell like roses. So this kid's walking in chicken crap. You know, don't violate my constitutional rights. Not everybody's crazy. I'm not going to go shoot anybody. But if somebody comes into my house, at least I want the right to be able to protect myself. You know, or like this guy that was just at the Walmart. Where was that at? Refresh my memory.
Which one? There were a couple.
Where I guess the guy's a preacher. The guy went into Walmart shooting it up.
Oh gosh.
That's all right.
There was one in Seattle, right outside of Seattle. I think that's the one you're probably talking about. The one where you saw the guy steal the ammunition and followed him out into the parking lot?
Yeah, where the guy was shooting people and stuff.
That was outside of Seattle, yes.
And then the guy shot him and stopped him. I mean, he had a bunch of ammunition, but you have a law-abiding citizen who stopped a criminal who went in and stole the ammunition. And that's what they're going to do, is they're not going to stop. This guy didn't care if he shot people inside of Walmart, outside of Walmart, whatever. But a law-abiding citizen stopped him. And then what does he do? He didn't let him just die right there on the spot. He started administering CPR to the guy.
He did. He rendered aid.
Yeah, and, you know, he didn't want to shoot the guy. He didn't want to kill the guy, but he had to stop him. Just like the shooting out in Texas at the church. The AR-15 that they're trying to get banned is also the gun that stopped the guy. Yeah. So, you know, you have a criminal here who has a gun, and then you have a citizen that has a gun, that's a law-abiding citizen, is able to stop that criminal, because criminals are never going to you're never going to get rid of guns. There's too many of them. You know, and then you look at what Eric Holder did, you know, with Fast and Furious, which people have forgotten about that. He took government guns that were confiscated, gave them to the Mexican cartel. The Mexican cartel put those guns back out on the street, and we had a border patrol agent that was killed, and how many other ones, and that's how he got busted. Yeah, Eric Holder is right now out in California. He's still an attorney and everything else, and he's out pushing to have Trump impeached and all this stuff when he is a freaking criminal. He should be held responsible for the murder of that border patrol agent. He's the one that gave the guns. Obama knew about it. Hillary Clinton knew about it. They all knew about it, but it got squashed. And they're sitting there complaining about the Second Amendment rights. But if you go back and look, a few years ago, before Trump got in office, they were wishy-washy and flip-flop. Depends on what their agenda is, and they're trying to get on election. And I still don't know what the left's running format is this year. I've yet to figure it out. You know, I know that they've been talking. Well, yeah, sort of. They've been talking about they're going to repeal the tax plan. Okay, which you know, the crumbs that Nancy Pelosi talks about. Oh, it's just crumbs. Well, some people $1,000 or $2,000 and a raise is not crumbs. $1,000 to me is not crumbs.
No.
I mean, that's a down payment on a bass boat, fishing rod. You know, that's quite a few oil changes. That's 2 of my house payments.
Right.
You know, right there. Well, my house is paid off now, but that would be, you know, 2 or 3 of my insurance payments on my house. That covers 2 or 3 months for some stuff, especially you get into the rural areas and things. That's not crumbs, but they want to repeal the new tax law that's put in place, which is stupid. Because once they take all the money from the rich people, and that's the other thing that gets me. You got people that work hard and bust their butts to be rich. The only thing that separates poor people and rich people is ambition. That's it. The only thing that keeps me and you from being multimillionaires is we don't have the ambition and drive that a guy who's made multi-millions, unless he was born into it. But somebody off the streets, you know, the guy that invented Rubik's Cube, you know, the pet rock. There's always something that's an excuse when you say you can't do something. I'm not looking to make $1 million. I just like paying my bills and living comfortably. But, you know, and they want to stop the tax law. They want to open up the borders. That's the running format because the economy is doing good, even though the stock market's down right now. But you got anything to add to that before I move to the next one?
No, not at this point. I think we need to wait and see what's going to happen. But I like I said, I think he's a mouthpiece because he's too young to be anything else on his own.
Yeah, that's no doubt. He's a puppet for somebody, and I feel sorry for the kid. I probably shouldn't call him an idiot, but anytime you allow somebody to stick their hand up your butt and work your mouth for a cause you know absolutely nothing about and have not been educated on, you're a puppet. And that makes you dumb, it makes you an idiot, whatever you want to call it. I call it that because when you try to take our constitutional rights away from us, that's a bunch of crap. That's a load of crap. If you're going to be fair about it, let's hand over your cell phone, little David. Give me that driver's license. We'll wait till you're 21 and you're grown up enough to where that you can own those things. You know, people are killed. Look at the guy in New York that ran all those people over with a rental van. You know, he mowed 17 people over. Look at Timothy McVeigh, who blew up the depository in Texas. You know, he pulls in there with a rental truck full of ammonium nitrate, fertilizer, and stuff, and blew and killed how many people up in that one?
Right.
You know, look at the people that died by guns, hatchets, even the Boston bombers. That was pressure cookers. So what are you going to do? Ban everything except for, I was going to say straws, but now they're trying to ban straws.
Plastic ones anyway.
Yeah, plastic ones. Look, for all you people that want straws banned, I have no straws. It's an adult sippy cup for old people. I missed my sippy cup when I was a baby. They didn't have them when I was a baby. They didn't have, really, I don't think they had bottles in. I was stuck on the nipple.
You're nutty.
Yeah, right. You got anything else to add to that?
No, on that note, I think we should move on.
Okay, so you had Sarah's, Huckabee Sanders, the White House press lady.
Yes.
She goes into a restaurant. Fill us in on that while I get my water.
Well, it seems that she went into a restaurant to get to eat and was asked to leave the restaurant. A lot of people thought that it was something that she did that caused her to be asked to leave. And then I guess after some investigation, they found out that it wasn't anything that she had done that caused her to have to leave. It was genuinely the restaurant manager. I was going through the Twitter feed earlier and found a statement from the server who was on her table and said that she had actually only spent about 2 minutes working at her table before the manager told her to ask Miss Huckabee to leave the restaurant. The manager didn't even step out and ask her to leave. He had
What was the reason?
server. Because she works for the Trump administration and didn't want her in the restaurant.
Or POTUS, as he said.
The POTUS. So he asked her to leave, and she did quietly take her family and leave the restaurant. So I guess this is something that is going to start being a trend that we may see, because now the Democratic Party, I understand some of the people on the Democratic side are calling for businesses to deny service to the Republicans.
Yeah, the Maxine Waters. You have her quote from what she said?
I don't, but I can get it real quick.
Yeah, Maxine Waters was on, and she's telling people, which I got to give it to Nancy. You know, I give Nancy Pelosi a hard time. You know, that I've said she should have retired, you know, right before the dinosaurs went out. I don't know how she missed getting blown up by the meteor, but just the things that she's done in the past. Mm-hmm. But today, she actually said something I never thought she would say, that Maxine Waters went too far, you know, with what she said. But to ask businesses, you know, last week we talked about the two guys that were homosexuals and, you know, about the cake and the owner refusing to give them business. I guess these restaurant owners do have the right, you know, if you're a Republican or Democrat, I'm not going to bash them too much. But when you have politicians that are out there starting race crap, and not just racist stuff now the racism, you know, now it's, well, let's split up the parties. Let's split the country. You know, that was one of Hitler and Mussolini and those things, is that you split the country and you get the country fighting against each other. It's easier to walk in and take over. Did you find her quote, or are you still looking?
I found a quote, but I'm not sure if this is exactly the one that may have been at issue. She made a quote, "God is on our side. If you see a member of the Trump cabinet push back," I don't know if that could have been construed to mean, you know, what you know, for people to not serve members of the Trump cabinet. Let me look a little further and see if that was, you know, see if I can find something more specific than that. But I felt really bad for Sarah Huckabee, because she was there with her family trying to have a meal, you know, just trying to have a family meal, and was asked to get up and leave, and I don't think that's right, personally.
Well,
It's just my opinion, but I don't think that's right.
Not only that, but you also had that other comedian going after her too, you know, saying that she was you know, talking about her weight and just trashing her.
Right.
And she had no right doing that. I mean, the woman has a job, which I'd love to have that job, you know, but I think she does a damn good job at it.
As I do as well. I think she does a very good job at it.
I mean, it's hard when you've got so many fake news people up there trying to bash you not just every day, unlike Obama and Bush and all these other guys, the presidents before. There's press conferences damn near every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2 or 3 a day. You got Trump walking out to just meet with reporters, knowing they're going to try to slam him. And there's stuff that Trump does as well. While you're looking for that,
Mm-hmm.
he made the comment yesterday and today that these kids and illegals coming over, they should just pack them up and send them back. Well, what Trump has failed to realize on that or see is that that's a violation of the 5th and 14th Amendment, your right to due process. In our Constitution, it says that anybody, not just a U.S. citizen, but if you land on this soil, you have the right to due process. Now, that's why they don't bring the Taliban guys and stuff into the United States and they send them to Guantanamo Bay, is because once they get on the soil, they have right to due process, and they have to go through legal steps in order to do that. So instead of saying, well, let's stop them on the other side of the wall, and I know that they've been trying to work with the Mexican government and stuff to get some of our agents on the other side of the wall to stop them there before they actually can land into the United States. Because once they're here in their own soil, they do have the right to due process.
Right.
And then you have one of the Congress people on there screaming a couple of days ago about, well, they should just make California, one of California idiots out there screaming about, well, they should just, and I forget his name, it's a Spanish guy, California's language should be Spanish. And you had another one saying, oh no, the U.S. language is English. Well, no, it's not. Nowhere will you find in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights where it says anything about our country having one standardized, whether it's English or Spanish or anything.
Right.
And that's because they wanted immigrants to be able to come to this country. Now, I do believe that they do have the right, once they're on soil, that they have those rights, even though they're not a U.S. citizen. Once you're on U.S. grounds, you do have the right to due process.
Right.
So I think Trump needs to rethink what he was saying on that and, back up, Erico. But Trump, he gets fired up, and I can't really blame the guy. I mean, he's getting hit by all different angles. I even saw the one guy on Fox News a couple of days ago just ripping him. And it's like, whoa. But he deserved it,
Mm-hmm.
and most part of it, I think he's doing a good job. I think the Republicans need to tighten up with this whole immigration bill. And people are going to get pissed off at me for saying this about Democrats, but they're holding up the process. If it wasn't an election year, instead of those guys jumping on the thing and saying, for their campaigns and stuff coming up, hey, let's get on this and let's get this passed. That way they can say, hey, we had a part of it and we helped pass this. This was part of our plan. Vote for me. No, they're not going to have anything to run on come the fall here. From
Right.
2020, next year, whatever, because everything they're blocking and it doesn't make sense. And then they're screaming, about gun control and opening the borders. And now it's how the children are being violated. I see these kids on TV. They're coming from El Salvador and Guatemala and stuff, and these places where they have gangs, and they're wanting to defect to come to here. But right now where they're at, they've got it a hell of a lot better than what they were in. Look at those trains they were riding on and
Right.
stuff. And why in hell hasn't the Mexican government stepped up? Because they're coming from South America right through Mexico and right into the United States.
Yes, they are.
I don't know why the president of Mexico is even allowing that. Why are they even coming over his southern borders? If Mexico is so great and all that, let them stay there. That's damn sure better than where they were at before. I understand that America's the greatest, country on this planet. And I love my country, but I don't want to see it get overridden with, with diseases and head lice and bed bugs and all this crap that can be bought in. And why I feel sorry for the kids and the parents, there are proper ways to do it. But once they land on the soil, they do have the right to due process. And I think Trump needs to back up on that a little bit.
Right.
You know,
Okay, well, evidently Maxine Waters was at a Keep Families Together protest rally over the weekend, and that was where she made the statement that she made. And the statement that she made was, she said, and this is a quote, "Let's make sure we show up wherever we have to show up. And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd and you push back on them and you tell them they're not welcome anymore anywhere."
she needs to be impeached. You know, and I know people are going to say, well, you're saying that because she's black. No, I'm saying it because she's a dumbass. You know, you're going to try to divide the country on that. That's why we have a Democrat and Republican side and an independent, a left and a right. And so there's checks and balances to keep this stuff in order. But to say, oh, we're right and you're wrong, she didn't have the right to do that. Or to even try to shut down businesses for it. But you know what? Here's a quick question for her. Okay, how long has Maxine Waters been in office? You know, how long has Nancy Pelosi been in office? Nancy Pelosi's been in since 81, 81, I believe.
When we looked it up, yes, it was 81.
Yeah, these guys have been in office for all this time. Those laws have not changed. Now, why all of a sudden in 2018 are they raising such a big stink about it when the Democrats have controlled the House, the Senate, everything for years? Why now when they're not controlling it? Why didn't they do something about it when they were controlling it? That's my question I want to ask Maxine. Remind me tomorrow to call her and ask her. I will call her office and ask her. It's just like Corin Brown, the sick, the IRS on me again.
Her biography says that she's been in public service for 37 years. And it doesn't, well, hang on.
Anyways.
There's a lot of verbiage there. I'm sorry. It would take me a few minutes to read through and single out how long she's been in Congress. It's a lot. But she's been in public service for 37 years, so that's quite a long.
So even if she's been in service for 5 years, not to mention 37, she's right up there with Nancy then.
Yes.
But why in all this time has she not done anything? Why hasn't Nancy Pelosi done anything? Dianne Feinstein, you know, like we go back to that David Hogg kid. All this time they've had all this thing to do to protect the kids, and they've been in office all this time. Why now are they choosing to try to say, oh, we're stepping up and doing this now? I got some echo coming back on my mic, Chris. But you know, I just don't get it. And Trump does need to watch out what he's saying on stuff. I think the guy gets he's like me, gets a little high strung sometimes. He doesn't care what he says. Hey, I can relate. But Mr. President, if you're listening, I do think you're doing a good job, even though you take a lot of crap, you know, with the whole North Korean thing. Hat goes off to you, buddy. I mean, you've got that thing going on. Did you know that normally, like today, North Korea would have been doing their war games and their stuff like that and protesting the United States? You know, this is the first time they've never done that. There was not a peep out of them today. Matter of fact, over North Korea, they've even took their anti-American crap down. All their reticence, I can't speak. All the crap that they had hanging up, all their posters, has all come down. And they didn't do any of their stuff.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody else do that. I mean,
Nope.
the Bushes, the Clintons, the Obamas. I haven't seen anybody else do that. So, you know, even though I just gave Trump the smack upside his head, I was watching earlier where Jimmy Fallon had messed up his hair. Did you see that?
No.
He roughed up his hair real good and it was sticking on one side.
Oh, gosh.
And then Jimmy Fallon went on saying he was sorry or some crap.
Oh, gosh. No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, watch it. I forgot what station it was on. It might have been on Access America or something. Speaking of which, when we got to give a shout out to Mama Baldwin,
Yeah.
Mama Sanchez.
Yes.
And she needs to be getting on the phone when I get back because we need some update. We need Dancing with the Stars and what's that? As the Stomach Turns. No. What's that show she watches?
One Life to Live.
Yeah, One Life to Live. We need updates on Dancing with the Stars and the Voice and all that stuff.
I wish
So,
you all the luck.
She isn't going to come on camera, but Mama, I know you can hear me. I love you to death. But we need somebody to do our stuff. So at least you could call in. I know you don't want to be on camera, and you know I love you. But come on, I've got a $500 bet riding on this. We need you.
Oh, my goodness.
Because we're going to have Bubba on in the next, in the next 3 weeks. In the next month, we're going to have Bubba on. Tammy, you're going to interview Bubba. You guys
So
are
I
going.
heard.
You guys are going to want to see that. It's a trip. Bubba's based on a series of books that I have out and have written for years now. And Bubba gets into a lot of crap. But we're going to have Bubba on the radio show. Tammy's going to interview him. We might have his brother Biscuit on, a.k.a.
That'll
Chris.
be an interesting interview. Yes,
it will. And we might have
Wait.
we might have the Palaka boys on and get Lee to sing. We got Lee's picture again. Yes, I see it up there. Pop Lee's picture up again. Because we've only got, how much time we got left, Chris?
3 minutes.
Yeah, we have
That's what
like
I thought.
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay, pop Lee's picture up there again.
Here it is. It's up. Our
Okay,
beautiful friend Lee.
Lee, she is beautiful. Ben's a lucky man.
Yes, he is. I'm trying to
they're still-
soften this for you, Travis.
Huh?
I'm trying to soften this for you.
She said when I get back, she's going to come into the studio. She doesn't know that when she does, she's going to get locked in there. I'm not going to be locked in there.
He's colder.
I'm going to put an adult, like a dog door, but an escape trap door. So I can bail through it and shove a pin down, and we'll just leave the cameras rolling.
Oh, my Lord.
We love you, Lee, but I made you a promise. Okay. Also, I got to throw a quick shout out to JR over at O'Reilly's. The guy just kicked butt on his stuff, man. And
Mr. Steve.
Mr. Benio, put his stuff up there before we close out. Mr. Benio, one of the best well guys in Florida, or not the best well guy in Florida. You guys need to give him a call. You got stuff. Where's April? How much time we got left? I want to make sure April gets in there. April, District 3. Wait, who are they? Who's up on the stage?
April Iser?
Who?
April Iser?
Yeah, who's up on the thing now?
We have another ad you need to read.
Which one is that one? Go ahead,
Hair
take
by
it, Chris.
Barbie. Do you want me to read it?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
which one
Okay,
is
Hair
it?
by Barbie, available daily by appointment only. We offer 2 locations for your convenience. Kelly's Hair Studio at 916 St. John's Avenue, Palaca, Florida, and Salon Loft 440 CBL Drive, Unit 103, Loft Number 7 at St. Augustine, Florida. This week only, mention IITW Radio and get $15 off color. Call Barbie at 904-501-9542.
And folks, that is by appointment only, please.
Yeah, Barbie does the best hair around. She actually cuts mine. And we have how much time we got, Chris? We got
We have
April
24
Iser.
seconds.
Okay, April Iser. You guys vote for her, District 3, Putnam County. Way to go, April. We love you. Okay, Tammy, quick, in the show with where they can catch us at.
Find us on the Putnam Way and IITW Radio on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Thank you guys. Have a great evening. We love you.
Yep, we'll see you on Wednesday night. God willing, the creek don't rise and the government don't get me first. Thanks for letting us come into your homes. Good night.
Okay.
Good night.